Okay, my name is Nancy Cherofsky. I'd like to welcome all inductees, the family members of Jean Fazio, Dean Pack Tooker, Dr. Kathleen Ahern, who's our graduate director, the Wagner faculty, and members of the Epsilon Mu chapter. I am presently now the president of this chapter. I'd like to congratulate all of the inductees today and thank everyone for attending. I'm going to take this off, I think. Maybe back. Yes? Okay. Okay. I'll give you a little history about the Sigma Honor Society that you're being inducted to today. The society is an international society. It was founded in 1922, so it's 100 years old. There are currently 135,000 plus members in the society, and it expands over 85 countries. Most of the leaders in the field of nursing are inducted into Sigma Nursing Society prior to them becoming leaders. That's what makes them outstanding. They have that special quality that all of you had that you're being inducted for. Most, again, members go on to be CEOs, vice presidents, deans, directors, administrators, researchers, and many of them legends in the field of nursing. Today you're being inducted into the Epsilon Mu chapter, which is Wagner Nursing's chapter here on campus. And there are presently 540 chapters, so we're one of 540. We could not hold this happy event for all of you without acknowledging that this past year has been very difficult for this chapter and very sad. We lost suddenly our beloved president, who is our longest running president here in the chapter, and she was our compass. Her name was President Jean Fazio. I know in my heart that Jeannie is here today. This is a picture of President Jean Fazio. Okay, you can see always a smile on her face and always a beautiful, impeccably dressed. She's looking down on us and giving her blessing for you to have a long and happy career. I am sure everyone attending this event has a story of how their life changed over the past few years with the pandemic that we had just now slowly getting out of. Just know that having survived that and being in nursing school, this accomplishment alone, now you're being inducted into the society, makes you again, unique in the field of nursing. That's what makes you stand different than other students that you may be going presently studying nursing with. You're just not only outstanding academically, but ethically and professionally as well. Again, you're an elite group. Please don't forget that, and you should please really look into yourselves and see all the hard work that you did to get here. You are the future of nursing. You are our stars. We are all wish the best for you going forward into the field. You will be hearing shortly from a nurse. She is our guest speaker. She has attended Wagner Nursing School as an undergrad and graduate student. She is now working in the field of nursing, a very unique position that she has as a family nurse practitioner in a very dynamic and challenging field, and we thank her for being our guest speaker. You're also going to hear from two nurse leaders that we are inducting today into the society. They're going to speak briefly. They are also in an elite group. They're already nurses, but we have acknowledged that they are really leaders because of how they give back to the community. They preceptor other students, they're role models, and that is something that we in this chapter look at as being something that we really cherish, because we all need to give back to each other into this field to help one another. It's very important. Your experience as a nurse, good and bad, will mark your souls, but please don't let the bad define you. You will have days that will be really difficult and challenging. You have chosen the profession of nursing to care for others, to speak out for others that they cannot speak out for themselves. And this is what a leader should do, you know, and again, all of you are leaders in this room. There are special qualities that a Sigma nurse member and leaders must have to support others who are in need during a crisis and need support from a strong professional such as yourselves in this room. Whether you are a novice nurse leader or an experienced one, always remember to support your fellow nurses. So that means many of you sitting in this room, you had to be precepted by someone, whether you're a graduate nurse or an undergrad nurse. Please try to give back. You know that saying, give forward? Please do that in the field once you become settled and you feel comfortable in your position. Please remember to do that. Give forward and precept another student that you know helped you where you are now. This unity that we have brings quality patient care if we all do for each other, which is the goal of our daily work responsibilities, as the nurse has the foundation to do this. We do not know what the future will bring, but we do know that if you use your network with other professionals, such as everyone in this room, we're all here to help one another. This chapter is here to help you as well. It may be that you take a volunteering position while you're studying for your boards just to keep active, and you never know who you're going to meet, so networking is really important. This chapter is looking for new members like yourself, young new members that can help us with social media and other ways to really build this chapter and make it strong and make it where you're really happy to be a member here, and if that means holding social gatherings and things like that, we're all open to what your suggestions will be. We also, I want you to know about the Sigma nursing site. This is the site here. A lot of students will ask, well, what is Sigma? Why should I join? Again, it's a huge organization. They have a lot of webinars for you once you begin your career as a registered nurse, or if you're a graduate nurse and you're beginning your career now as a nurse educator or nurse practitioner. There are many webinars you could take that have continuing education credits. Since you are a new member, just so you know, please take advantage of these webinars. Also, our chapter has its own Sigma Wagner website. Please go on it. If you'd like to post information or news events, something that happened that's great in your workplace, a promotion or an event that you want to sponsor with our chapter, we want to promote that on the website. So please reach out to either myself, Nancy Cherofsky, my board is Dr. Jean Fazio, Dr. Lori DeCenter, and Lisa Woody, who I could not at all do this day without Lisa. And everyone knows Professor Woody, how organized she is. This chapter does support nursing research. We want to continue to do that, so if you have a nursing research project that you would like to be sponsored, there are forms that we're going to have a Moodle site. There are forms that you can download to apply for financial help with your research, and we would like to support that, so please remember that. Dr. Lori DeCenter, our chapter's treasurer, will be calling the names of all inductees in all the nursing cohorts, so undergrad, traditional, second degree, graduate, and doctoral. When she calls your name, please come up to the podium to receive your induction certificate. Please sign the book. There is a book at the end that we'd like you to sign. That book has been in existence for a very long period of time, so you're making history. So please sign the book, and it is already dated. And then if you do want a picture, I ask that you wait till after we're done, because Mr. Lee Manchester, our main man for communication, events, everything, I'm very happy that he and privileged that he was able to come to this event. He is videotaping it. It will be up on the video website at Wagner in at least a couple of days, and he's going to take a group picture at the end. So when we're done with the whole induction ceremony and the dedication, we then are going to ask that you come up all together and take a group picture, okay? And then the Sigma cords, why we wear purple, many of us, is because it is the color of the Sigma Nursing Society, just so you're aware for the future. These are the cords that you can purchase if you like. You don't have to, but these are what you would wear at graduation, and it signifies that you're a nursing honor student, and other individuals that know these colors know how outstanding that is to have these cords around their neck. And so I'm going to introduce Dean Pat Tooker. and she's going to speak also, and I just, again, welcome all of you and thank you.
Thank you. As Nancy just said so beautifully, this is really bittersweet. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to recognize the nursing students and nurses who are nurse leaders, but it's also a sad day in recognizing the wonderful work of our dear friend Jean Fazio. I'm going to combine a little bit of both topics together. I know Ricky's not here, he's working, but he should be here soon. But the few words that I say about your wife and mom, I think tie in beautifully. I don't usually read off of a paper, but I do want to just jump back onto what Nancy was saying. Sigma's mission, the entire mission, is developing nurse leaders anywhere to improve healthcare everywhere. And their strategic goals are to grow in value for members and all nurses worldwide. This is an international honor society who are pursuing excellence. I'm emphasizing several words that really resonate with me because they really align with who Jeannie was. The second strategic goal was to promote and celebrate nursing scholarship, leadership, and service worldwide. Third, to build partnerships and collaborative endeavors to advance the mission of the society. And fourth, to sustain and advance the resources of the society. So in 1922, similar to what we do, 6 nurses got together, 6 nurses out in Indiana, and they founded Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society, today known as Sigma. It was at the Indiana University Training School for Nurses. Can you imagine training school for nurses? Which is now the Indiana University School of Nursing in Indianapolis. In 1981, Wagner opened its chapter. So 41 years ago, we started our chapter, Epsilon Mu. And we have recognized and inducted several hundreds of our graduates who we recognize as nurse leaders. I want to talk to you a little bit about how far back I go with Jean Fazio. I grew up on the South Shore of Staten Island, and back then you took 2 buses or a bus and a train to go to high school. Although Jeannie and I didn't go to high school, one of her siblings and I did. And when you were from Grant City and Dongan Hills, you pretty much got to know everybody on the bus. So I got to know one of Jeannie's sisters, who then would talk about her wonderful older sister. It wasn't for years later that I met Rich Fazio. Rich was house staff at Maimonides when I was a brand new nurse. And Rich was house staff with 2 of the most esteemed GI doctors that probably taught him everything he knows, never thinking that he would follow in their footsteps. Working with Dr. Aswara and Dr. Coetzee, I'd see Rich up on K5 and then on 8 East. And we befriended each other, just as most up-and-coming professionals do. Years later, when I chose to leave Maimonides to come back to Staten Island, although I sent many of my family members to Brooklyn, several to Rich, I said, I have to get to know the doctors on Staten Island. So I answered an ad in the Staten Island Advance for Bailey Seton Hospital. And within about a week or 2, I swore I was going to go back to Maimonides because I thought I stepped into a time tunnel and said, I'm never going to survive here. And 20 some odd years later, I left Bailey. But when I was at Bailey, walking down a corridor one day, who do I see? Rich Fazio. And it was Rich and a whole bunch of other docs, some that are not with us anymore, that all became a great team. I started in the recovery room. I became the nurse manager of the surgical ICU. I was bumped into administration and opened up the pre-admission testing area, which drove us all crazy. And Rich and I worked very closely. It was years later that in that time period, I got to know Jeannie because all the nurses at Bailey kind of knew all the nurses at St. Vincent's then. And lo and behold, Jeannie Fazio and I became friends, whether we went to meetings, whether we saw each other out in the community. and it just seemed like we were coming back again. It wasn't for a few years after that that I was at an honor society or a senior awards. One of you were getting an award, and Jeannie was sitting at the table with Rich, and I went over and the family and said, "How you doing? What are you doing?" "Oh, you know, of course, working with Rich, and I guess still per diem at the hospital." And I said, "You got to come back to school." And I could see your father almost fall out of his chair, and he's like, "No, Pat, no. She's not coming back to school." I'm like, "No, Jeannie, we need you at Wagner." "Yeah, you think? You think I could do it?" And Rich is saying, "No, she can't do it. She has her family. She has to run my office. She has to take care of me." And I said, "Call me." And she did. And I think we sat in the famous Italian restaurant that we would sit in all the time that doesn't exist anymore. And lo and behold, Jeannie came back to be a nurse educator. And wow, not just a nurse educator. Jeannie was an adjunct. Jeannie was a friend, a colleague, and a president of our honor society. I mean, it just never ended with her. She developed and single-handedly started our remediation course in 050, coming up here on Monday nights. She came to our meetings. She took on this responsibility as an adjunct, which is unheard of, and led with such beauty that to this day, as Nancy said, nobody held the reins of a president like Jeannie did. We collaborated on a bunch of things. I would call Jeannie when my parents needed to come into the office, and my parents would call for an appointment, and of course, Dad's office was always crazy and booked, and Jeannie would say, "Call me at a certain time and I'll see what I can do." I am forever indebted to the Fazio family because Rich saved my dad's life a few years ago. And in typical Rich Fazio fashion, I bumped into him in a corridor at Staten Island Hospital when my dad was near death with C. diff. And I said, "Rich, if I get him out of here, can you help me?" And I talked to Jeannie, and we did a procedure, a little bit of kicking and screaming on your dad's part because it wasn't reimbursable. I don't even think it had an ICD-9 code or ICD-10, but my dad is here because of the efforts of both your mom and dad. It's been an honor to know Jeannie, to call her a friend, to be a part of her world. Laura, we went to your wedding. We had a blast. I've watched and listened to children being born and growing up. Jeannie and I would go to Sigma events at the Barclay Center. We had a blast a few years ago. I am confident that heaven has the best dressed angel. I'm sure she wanted her wings to match her bag, or that the dress wasn't right or needed the belt, but she would come up some days when we were all running around ragged, and it was like, wow, did you see what Jeannie Fazio was wearing today? She was just everything and more, and I can't thank you enough for being here today and that we have the opportunity to recognize her. She was an absolute true leader. The epitome of what Sigma stands for. So for the students in the room that are being inducted, and for the nurses that are here, and of course my faculty, we know that our adjunct, friend, colleague, and leader is looking down on us and will, keep all of us in her best wishes and prayers. And as I said, Rich, I'm forever indebted. Your family is our family, and Jeannie will always be a big part of Wagner College. Thank you all so much.
So, should I wait for Ricky or should I? No? Okay. All right. So I'm going to do the dedication to Jean Fazio now. And I just want to add on to a little bit more what Dean Tuka had said. Jeannie was not only my friend, but someone I taught with personally here at Wagner for a very long period of time. We taught community health nursing, and we were really very involved in it. And then we gave the reins to Dr. DeSena and Dean Tucker now. I just hope, though, from hearing everything you said, that you just get a little piece of the soul of this woman who, again, we call Jeannie, and just think of, if you think of her as a role model, think back to this day, how Jeannie was kind. She was always looking for the underdog in a nursing class. Who could she help? Who needed help? She actually was the first professor to start 050, and probably no one in this room had to go through 050, but I'm sure you may have known a few students in your class that did, and it was Jean Fazio that started that class. That not even a syllabus. She got it where the students would not leave the School of Nursing. She continued to help them so that when they came back the following semester, they did not lose their nursing knowledge. And she was the big part of that. So she was always try to, again, pay forward, help others, be kind, and do the best that you can for your patients. That is who this woman was, and we miss her very much. The only thing more that Jeannie loved more than nursing, and she did love nursing, was her family, especially her grandchildren, Lily, Ivy, Charlie, and JJ. Your grandma was the best nurse anyone could have on this earth, and I just hope that you know that. And we have something to give you. So Lily and Ivy, can you come up? So this is for both of you. This is a plant that will grow as beautiful as your grandma, and we wanted you to have it, okay?
Thank you so much.
I'm now going to please call up Dr. Kathleen Ahern. Excuse me, I'm just nervous. This is a hard day. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry. Okay. Dr. Kathleen Ahern to speak, and then after she finishes, we're going to have our guest speaker, and then we're going to do the induction. So please also help yourself to food so that you eat. What did I do wrong? You're in the back waving. What did I do? You sure? Oh, you're hot. Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, Nancy and Pat, for the beautiful words about Jeannie. And she touched our lives in so many ways. And we've heard about a great nurse, and that's all true. But her and I used to swap grandmother stories. And she'd be like, "Can you believe that?" I go, "Yeah, I can believe that." But she made me smile, and she made me laugh. So aside from being a great professional, those are the kinds of things that we carry, from her also. And congratulations to the inductees today. I'm not sure if I should tell you this or not, but forget the number when they mentioned about when the chapter was 1981, the chapter was started. I was one of the first inductees. I was like 12, I think. I was like an early, but I was one of the first inductees. And what I would say is that I can remember my first Sigma convention I went to. There had to be a couple of thousand people in the room. And I was there, and I was presenting my doctoral research, and the slide projector broke. And so I was like, oh, but what it taught me is that, you just pick up and you go on. Because I go, do I get extra time? And they go, no. I go, okay, well, I'll do that. But I remember looking across the room and thinking that I joined a community of scholars. So that is what happens today with the induction, that you are going to join a community of scholars. And it is really important to stay active. So many people get inducted, even come to local meetings. So please don't do that. Please stay active. Go to a convention, even if there's some regional things, there's the national and international things, but they really help you grow as a person and professionally. But it becomes even more important. So many institutions are looking now at clinical ladders. It's been established in many places, but things like this, like belonging to an organization of scholars such as Sigma, that will help you along your career paths. And so I just want to say congratulations to all of you, and thank you again to the Fazio family for coming.
We're privileged tonight to have a guest speaker, like I said earlier. Her name is Stephanie Hopkins. She is a student who attended undergrad school here at Wagner College and then did her graduate studies here as well. She's a rock star in her field now. She works at New York University, and she is the only female professional in a male-dominated, completely male-dominated cardiology, preventive cardiology unit where she runs, she's a lipid specialist. She runs the practice there. I went to see her with a family member, and I was just blown away at what she's doing and what she's accomplished. And again, she started here at Sigma. I remember her in a younger version of herself, and now when I went to see her, I was basically like a proud mother. Like this young woman really made it. Just like all of you, we hope in this room, and if we can help you become rock stars, that's what we're here for in this chapter. Stephanie, I'd like to ask you to come up.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Okay. So thank you very much, Dr. Cherofsky, for that very, very kind introduction. So my name is Stephanie, and I'm a Wagner alum. I did my undergrad training here, and I liked it so much I came back and I did my graduate training here as well. I think I probably came to Wagner a little bit different than most of you. I was actually a transfer student, and I had been at a SUNY school in upstate New York and absolutely miserable and homesick and really looking to come back home and be closer to my family. And I was lucky enough to go to an open house one night, and Dr. Tooker was there. And I remember going with my parents and saying to my mom before we went, I don't know, I don't think we really should go. I don't think I'm gonna really want to transfer. That's a scary thing to do. But going to that open house was probably one of the best decisions that I ever made. I made the connection with Dr. Tooker, and just as you've all learned already from our previous speakers, that this program is truly a family. We spoke for maybe 20, 30 minutes together at that open house, but in that very short period of time, I quickly realized that Wagner is where I needed to be. I was at a bigger school and I felt a little bit lost there, and coming to Wagner, I wasn't even a student here yet, but she guided me through the whole process, made sure that I could transfer to Wagner seamlessly, and then I started my junior year here as an undergrad. And I think that just having that experience of a faculty member who would do that for you and you're not even their student yet told me everything I needed to know. I knew that Wagner is where I needed to be. So thank you, Dr. Tooker, for doing that for me. I finished my undergrad training here at Wagner, and then I worked at St. Francis, and then I moved to NYU as a staff nurse. I worked in a cardiologist step-down unit, then I worked in the cath lab. And then I said, I think I'm due to go back to Wagner. I think it's time for me to go back and get my graduate degree. So I did that. And again, I was just blown away with the professors here. Dr. Cherofsky has been my mentor since I started. She has helped me through so many parts of my life, both professionally and personally. And I think that the relationship that you have with your professors is something that you're going to look back on with only love, I hope. I hope that you really value what you have here and the professors that are teaching you. I think that being a member of this society I think it solidifies that again for you, that you now have this elite group, like your professors have said, of nurses who are looking to move your career professionally and personally, and I think that experience for you guys is going to be wonderful. I want to congratulate you on your hard work that you've put in, right? A lot of you are probably working and you have families that you're taking care of. So congratulations on your hard work and making this commitment to yourself and to your career. It's being inducted into this society is truly a testament to all your hard work. So I thank you all. Thanks for being here. Congratulations, and good luck on your professional careers.
Okay. Does anyone need a break, or we're okay to go on to the induction ceremony? Everybody good? Yeah? Okay, good. Okay. So I'm going to have Dr. Lori DeSena come up. She's going to call the names. And then Dr. DeFazio is going to help with the certificates and the cords. Right? Is that good? Okay. And then when we're finished, again, please, a lot of food there. Please help yourself to whatever you'd like. Okay? Yes.
So when I call your name, just come up. There may be a couple people missing. Yeah. Emily Aiello. Alyssa Joyce Bacalan. Costello. Emily Downs. Friscia. Gatto. Giordano. Groetsch. Incantalupo. Alana Leader. Nicole Liapes. Livoti. Anna Melnick. Grace Murphy. Seville Nimatulaeva. Danielle Palucci. Alexa Riccardi. Tiffani-Raye Valentin. These are the grad students. Aina Ibramia. Nanette Carrillo. Anna Greffenstein. Lizette Gerges. Devin LaBarbera. Smith. Christopher Sorensen. Brittany Fambunaris. Cheryl Tobia. Molly Wilton. Christian Zacharias. And our two nurse leaders, Janine Marino. And yet Danielle Wally.
For those of you who don't know, Danielle is the newest member of our faculty.
Did I forget anybody?
I just would like the two nurse leaders to speak briefly to all of you. Any insight that they can give you. Again, they've been nurses in the field for quite some time. And we don't always induct nurse leaders into the induction ceremony every year. They truly have to be unique and special above and beyond. And like I had mentioned before, pay forward and give back. And these two nurse leaders do that. So very proud to introduce first Dan Lawali. Happy that she joined our faculty. And then I will introduce Janine Marino.
There aren't many people that can say that they love their job, but I am very lucky because I love being a nurse and I love being an educator. As a new nurse, about 2 years in, my manager on the unit asked me if I wanted to precept a new graduate. To be honest, I was a little nervous and apprehensive, but I accepted. After my first new graduate ended their orientation and was on their own, I realized the whole process was extraordinarily fulfilling. Different from nursing, and I immediately fell in love with teaching. As an educator, you're given the opportunity to share knowledge, instill good habits, advise, protect, and most of all, continue my growth as a nurse. It is a privilege to be a part of this Wagner School of Nursing family. To all the inductees, this is a well-deserved honor. Congratulations on making your professors so very proud, and for always doing your best. It is my honor to be associated with you in Sigma. Thank you to my husband for being an incredible force in helping me pursue my passion. And to my prestigious colleagues, it is my honor to work alongside you and learn from the best every day. Thank you.
I'd like to just please call up Janine Marino also, please.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I want to give you guys my condolences, first and foremost, and I want to congratulate everybody that's here. I want to thank the staff. I think that nursing is a vocation more than a job. We were just speaking about it, and I read notes on nursing for one of my classes, and Florence Nightingale very specifically said that she was told 3 times, she was called to do this. And I don't think that that's baloney. I think that that's very true. I'm very happy that all of us are here, that we were called and we're carrying through, and we're contributing as much as we can. Functioning members of society that are actually paying it forward is rare, and I think that we should all take a moment to enjoy that and be grateful and be proud of that. I'm very thrilled to be here, and I'm very thrilled to have met everyone here, all of the professors that have helped me, so thank you guys so very much.
Janine didn't know if she should come tonight because she was coming right from work in her scrubs, and that's exactly what working nurses do. We never have enough time to look the way we'd like to look. So on this note, I just, again, would like to just say a few words. I know you all have not graduated yet, but if you're an undergraduate, and again, we know you're an elite group, please think about once you get settled in your jobs, take your time, but please think about coming back in the future to the graduate program at Wagner. We would love to have you. And to the graduate students who, you know, I love you with all my heart. I wish you the best, but also once you get settled and you take your nursing boards or your nurse educator CNE test, we'd love to see you back, the FMPs in the doctoral program, if you choose to continue your education. We all feel you become our family. We miss you when you're gone. And again, if you need anything when you leave here, please always reach out to us. We're always here to help if we can. Okay?